So here we are at Wanderlust Hollywood with this beautiful group of ModPo participants. It's October 2nd, 2016, and we're going to do a little close reading of Suppose and Eyes from Tender Buttons. So, do you want to start, Robin? We'll go line by line and read the poem?
Sure. All right. So, suppose it is within a gate which is open at the hour of closing summer, that is to say it is so.
All the seats are needing blackening.
A white dress is inside.
A soldier, a real soldier, has a one lace of different sizes. That is to say, if he can read. If he can read, he has a size to show shutting up 24.
Go red, laugh white.
Suppose a collapse and rubbed purr get.
Little sales ladies, little sales ladies, little saddles of Monte.
Little sails of leather and such beautiful, 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 beautiful.
I love that.
Great ending, yeah.
She's really the master of the zingers, right?
Yeah.
And also, like Molly was saying, there's
everyone got the one.
Yeah. Also, like Molly was saying, there's punctuation. I love the beautiful, beautiful, comma, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. And go red, comma, laugh white. So let's go in there a little bit. Suppose it is within a gate. Does anybody want to say anything about that?
Well, I love the beginning suppose because it's so conversational and it's interesting. It's sort of suppose it's like this might be so or this could be so. There's something sort of conditional about it. But then once the sentence reaches its end, it says that is to say it is so. So there's a certainty that you somehow get through. You start to suppose, but you start with suppose, but you end with it is so. And that very first sentence
Also with suppose opens you up, and then it is within a gate, which kind of closes you down again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Actually, maybe we should have even started with the title, because suppose and eyes.
Sure.
In itself,
Yeah.
Well, we could even start with the tender buttons, right?
We could.
Because there's a lot of connotations of tender.
Yeah.
That she's gonna one like fragile and gentle, but
legal
also
tender.
Legal tender. Yeah, like this is value. This is a medium of exchange. So then when you get to like what she's doing, using language in this way to like communicate somethingness, without actually depicting.
Why buttons?
Well, buttons are small objects, but also there's a sexual connotation too of tender buttons. But like they're little things, right? Like she just puts a button on it.
I would say the sexual connotation is very important, but I also think that there's something really interesting about the attention. Buttons are just these things we don't notice most of the time, and what the sort of the way that Stein's poems seem to work is how they defamiliarize things and call attention to things that you overlook at the same time. So things that you think you understand, so they're like, no, you don't really understand, and things that you completely overlook, she focuses in on from all these sort of multi-perspectival.
Well, and I sort of think of buttons as like the keys of a typewriter, and she breaks language down to these tiny little pieces, and
Like
so
parts
each
of
little button is like the stroke of
In early, don't you?
She presses them. She presses all the buttons.
Well, exactly. She's totally pushing our buttons, but tenderly, right? With great love.
But also buttons open and close, I think.
Right.
That's what I go to in terms of how her poetry works. Opening and closing, sort of like you think you get something and then it disappears.
And that's great because it offers such an open interpretation, but yet at the same time there's always something sort of concealed or something you can't reach because she's shifting so quickly.
So, great. So let's move on to Suppose and Eyes. How do we get from Anne, which is a singular, to eyes, which is a plural? How do we reconcile that? Or do we?
Don't know. Eyes tend to be thought of as pairs, like as a thing.
There you go.
Like, although it's not always the case, but the way you conceptualize them is that they're your eyes.
So suppose an eyes might mean suppose a person. A person
face
observing.
No, observation is important. Again, attention.
Or a gaze.
Yeah, gaze, right. Somebody else. You say eye somebody, right?
Yeah, maybe calling attention actually to the reading process, that we're using our eyes to look at this.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So if the title is Suppose an Eyes and the first line is Suppose it is within a gate, are the eyes within the gate? Are we drawing our attention to the gate, or is the gate going somewhere else?
Well, you could also look at is is, which could be eyes. I mean, that's maybe going a little too far, but
No, I don't think that's going too far, because I was also
Right.
thinking
I would
about
agree.
the icon, the personal pronoun, and
Yeah,
that's in a lot of these poems, you know, Stevenson's thing.
right.
Is suppose actually a command? Suppose an eyes, or is it suppose that is, like the word suppose or supposing is an eyes? So like if you're looking with your mind, right? So is that a noun? You know what I mean? Like, is the topic supposing?
Like supposition, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to telling us to, or as well as telling us to suppose something. You know, suppose is within a gate. You know, so you could read it. Suppose.
So we're
it is-
looking at a
What's
gate.
it?
Well, what is? Yeah.
Well, right,
it
exactly.
it could refer to suppose, or it could refer to the thing you're supposing,
Yeah, that's
right?
good. I also like how I just love beginning with suppose because it's immediate engagement with the reader, right? Like I said, I called it conversational earlier. I think it's sort of this is a portrait that depends on somebody who's engaging with it. And it brings you in.
It really brings you in,
Yeah.
really quickly.
I don't know what's going on with that gate that is open.
Should we split up sections? Do you want to split up a little?
Yeah, sure.
We can take our sentences,
Oh, yeah.
even though that puts me in a tough
That
spot.
puts you. Go. You get to do it.
Not to mention Suzanne.
I know Suzanne got the long one. You guys can
We'll
team
break
up
those
with
up.
your two, yeah. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so I require some assistance here, but we've already brought up the gate. We brought up the Steinian repetition, which is open, and what's that doing? How it sort of suggests action, right? Opening and closing, like you said. Closing summer, we have sort of a seasonal portrait. There's a sense of what's going on weather-wise. So there's something sort of cinematic about this opening before it gets wild. I don't know what else to say. I mean, what I mentioned before, I like that "say it is so" because there's such certainty there, but it's certainty that again sort of seems to immediately break down because language becomes all sort of.
Well, supposing is saying it so, right? You're supposing, you're saying it so.
Well,
I feel like it's more like it might be so, or it
Yeah.
could be so, or for the
Exactly,
sake of
or a
argument,
proposal.
let's imagine that it's
But
so.
it's imagining that it is
Yeah.
so is to suppose, right? Like what if this were so?
Yeah.
So in your mind, you actually
Right.
go like,
Yeah.
okay, what would that?
Right.
You follow the course of supposing, which is making it so in your mind and saying, well, what if that were true?
But
then
what I
she
like,
does say
then
it is so.
what I like
there's-
about that
then
first
there's-
sentence is that it tends to start with that "what if" though, but end on more certainty. And I don't really know.
I like the which open is open at the hour of closing.
Yeah.
And I would like bracket that with commas.
Yeah.
The gate, comma, which open, comma, is open at the hour of closing. And I am sort of wondering if the gate opens at the hour of closing summer, if there's something that happens in that transition into fall that opens our perception or whatever it is that we're supposing, or if it's already open.
What all make of within a gate? That's just sort of odd, right? Because it sort of puts us in the gate, right? In that sort of
Yeah.
space where the gate is. So
Or within whatever the gate is leading
Yeah,
us to.
so we're-
without
In
mentioning.
the compound.
so we're entering a sort of space.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
I sort of picture it as like the secret garden from the
Yeah.
outside, kind of looking in, and the thing that we're looking for, we have to walk through the gate to find. So, go
There's
ahead.
just something so delightful about the gate being open, you know? It's like
Especially at the,
Yeah.
the hour of
Right.
closing
yeah,
summer.
it's like we get to
That
go in
like
here.
cool twilight
It's a
night.
little illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's something like
I mean,
we
that
have
like-
access to this place.
Yeah.
And it refers back to eyes, right? Like, suppose an eyes is the overarching title. So while you're doing this, you're looking, okay, I'm supposing an eyes, and then I'm supposing it's within a gate. The gate is opening, which is open at the hour of close. It's opening and closing. Saying it so, it's kind of like a dreamscape, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like your
I think rather than you
mind's
said
eye.
cinematic, I think
Yeah.
that that's a really.
It's almost like it's welcoming you to a place you're not quite supposed to be.
Yeah, which is this poem, right? Which is, I mean,
Right.
like, and
Right.
really any of them, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Which makes me think immediately of Emily's house, right? Her Farrer house.
Oh, yes.
Only Stein is much more inviting, right, into that space.
I'm wondering about that is to say. I'm wondering what
This
that
is
is
just
to
to
say
say.
is usually like when you're making a second attempt
Yeah.
at something. You say, it's like this. That is to say,
Yeah.
and you're trying to get at it in another way.
And it's repetition, right? So it's just
Yes.
this idea of repetition that goes throughout all of it.
I think if you imagine a colon at the end of that is to say it is so.
Like it's repunctuating.
Right.
the quote.
let me just get my
You should
red
be an
pen
editor
out.
of Gertrude Stein.
Well, she shouldn't have punctuated
The guy
this at
who
all.
did that to Emily Dickinson.
Oh, yeah, Higginson or
Took the
Yeah.
dashes out and put in
Well,
commas.
If we look at the next line, so James, all the seats are needing blackening. What do you make of that?
I make some things. No, I mean the interesting
This is
thing
your line. This
I
is
know,
all you.
I know. So I don't know what to do with seats yet, but so in the first line we have like summer opening and closing. So like eyes opening and closing, right? And in the second line they're blackening, so darkness, right? So if I'm still supposing an eyes, now everything needs to darken or needs to be blackened, right? And those could be seats, right? Eyes are like the seat of your consciousness or something like that. So the seats needing blackening, we're going from shutters to closing the shutters. Almost feels like sleep or...
You know, I don't know, maybe the utility of narrativizing this is limited, but I feel like we've walked into a party. I feel like we've walked through a gate into a party.
Well, the seats are needing blackening to me sounds super utilitarian.
That's what I thought. Like they're resting, they need a
Right,
new coat of
they're
paint.
iron or yeah.
I
Because
try to
I
think-
was
Yeah.
picturing a
Yeah.
park, like
Okay,
the
yeah.
parks in France where they have metal chairs out and they get rusty in the winter.
At the hour of closing summer might signify nighttime.
I think it's
And then I think all the seats are needing blackening, meaning it's time for the sun to go down. So everything needs to the sun needs to come down, so everything needs to darken.
Which is a great use of need, right? The necessity of the sun going down, the necessity of light changing.
Yeah.
well, the closing of summer is September 22nd.
But at the hour of closing
And?
summer, though, might be night. At the hour of closing summer, might be nighttime. It could
Right.
be just be nighttime, as opposed to being seasonal.
Oh.
We just passed it. We're
Yeah,
in-
yeah, yeah,
We're in
yeah.
winter now.
Okay, so all the seats are needing blackening. It's time for darkness.
for
It's
winter.
time for it to be over.
It's
Yeah,
time for winter.
sure.
It's time for a
Summer's
white
over.
dress. It's time for a white dress.
But who wears a white
Snow.
dress after Labor
Snow.
Day?
Right, there you go.
But we're heading for snow.
Wait, let's do in sign.
Yeah.
How do we
Ensign.
read that? What does that mean?
The A sign, I guess it means that it's correct. It's the correct sign.
Okay, or like in season almost.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know how a white dress would be.
Or in sight.
Inside, you
coming
can see it.
out.
Also,
Yeah.
it also may be, maybe I've got it quite wrong, but maybe it's a astrological time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like the
Right,
Well,
yes, sign.
Virgo is
moving
September.
into
Yeah.
What, from one to the
Scorpio.
base,
Virgo
one
is
sign.
September, and it is like a maiden. It's the Virgin, so a white dress.
That's
Oh.
right.
That's not.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stein was into astrology, but I love it.
Let's just suppose.
Let's just suppose.
That's
Suppose
cool.
a virgin.
And why don't suppose a virgin. Since that next line is so long, let's all, Bob, why don't you guys start it and we can all kind of chime in. Let's reread that next line. Bob, do you want to reread that next sentence?
Okay. A real soldier has a worn lace of different sizes. That is, if he can't read. If he can read, he is a size to show shutting up 24.
Well, 24 hours.
Yeah, that's
Right.
That's so
Yeah.
we're, you know, are we talking about a day or are we
Right.
talking about a season? We don't know.
Which refers to that first line. It kicks us back to the closing summer and the opening gate.
Yeah.
And shutting up 24, is that meaning just the close of the day, the end of the day, or shutting up 24/7, like shutting down all the time?
Size to
He can read. He is a size to shit.
Why would a soldier have a worn lace?
Could be like a shoelace.
Right, bootlaces.
Oh, I was definitely
Yeah.
thinking of like a
Yeah.
little scrap of lace.
I was going from the
But
white dress
I
to the
thought that
lace.
first
White
too, so
handkerchief.
I think
But
you
no, I love
probably
the boot
explore it in
lace.
both directions.
But I think it is playing with the gender connotations of lace and soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the soldier, a real soldier. It's like a little
Right.
kid sees someone in uniform. It's like- and also it throws us into this post-World War I context, right? Where, you know, she's, again, I think we're at a party. I think there's a soldier at this party.
Yeah.
A real soldier.
If he can read, he is a size to show shutting up 24. If he can read, he's old enough to shut, you know, to be up 24 hours a day, or to shut down 24
Stay up all
to party
night.
up,
Yeah.
party all night.
Or literally, if he can read, right? Because soldiers, I mean, I don't know anything about, you know, the militia of that time period, but maybe were not able to be educated. They went off to train early or
Could be
didn't go to
a
college.
uniform too. The uniforms have, well, like ladies, they have.
Question is,
Yeah, yeah,
why
yeah.
is the worn lace of different size?
I was wondering that too. What do you think?
That to say, like, that means that how it related to say he can read.
Yeah, that's a good question.
What do you think?
I don't know.
It's been pretty
Are you a
quiet.
teacher?
you guys.
You make a great teacher.
No, when you talk about that, like
Yeah.
first instance, like, without looking forward, I just say, suppose it's within a game. I mean, just say you're supposed to close your eyes or go to sleep because the summertime and closing summer. I don't know. Just I have needed time to thinking something.
I also like how visual that line is, because if we're moving from bootlaces to the idea of reading, we're looking up the body, right? We're starting at the feet and moving up to the eyes. So moving from the utility of stomping around in boots to the sort of intellect or the visual capacity.
Interesting. The size to show, shutting up 24. The to show is really tripping me
Yeah.
up.
Well, it's the visuality of it, right? Like, so we're looking at this man, we're looking at this soldier, and I mean, it's big, you know.
Yeah.
Military
he
dude.
looks like a big,
Yeah.
big strapping guy.
Yeah, and again, it makes me think of soldiers. It's like he's a size to show. Like what a hunk, what a strong man. you
I
know?
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's a real soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
that,
Coined a new
that
phrase
would
there.
go
He's
back
a
to
size
a
to show.
soldier, a real
Yeah.
soldier. Yeah,
I think
because like a real
Yeah,
man.
And also-
I think we're moving between gender connotations and also moving between age in a weird way.
Well, worn lace has two connotations too, right? It could be worn from age or it could be worn, like on your body,
Oh,
right? So
sure.
he's wearing he's showing his age, he's showing his experience or his,
Wonder about lace in juxtaposition with the white dress.
Mm-hmm.
Or even the soldier in juxtaposition with whatever woman is wearing that white dress.
Well, the
Well,
white
exactly.
dress,
Yeah, that's, I mean, a worn
Yeah.
lace could be a female.
the
Right.
white,
Who
the
was
white
wearing
dress
the white
is
dress.
inside, right? The white dress is inside, and the soldier can read, right? So if he
I
can
mean,
read,
yes.
No, definitely,
Yes.
right?
yeah,
Well, I was thinking that, somebody might have already sort of alluded to this, but worn lace of different sizes. So if there are laces on his soldier boots, they're of one type or size, and the lace on this white dress could be of another size or type.
and he's gonna have a lot of he's gonna have laces on his backpack. He's gonna have laces on a parachute. He's gonna have there are gonna be a lot of laces, you know.
And actually, speaking of showing the next line, with bringing in colors. I mean, bringing in red. I guess we've already had white.
Go red,
Yeah.
laugh white. To me, go red, sounds like a college football game.
Yeah, or a car race or something. There's an exuberance to it. There's an enthusiasm.
Sure.
But I see blood too because he's
Yeah.
a soldier.
And sex. Like
And sex.
Yeah, we're cheering on this soldier in the white dress, like go, you know, like
But yeah, go red, but laugh at the white one.
yeah.
Yeah. What's up with laugh white?
Well, that could be the woman in the white dress laughing with the soldier.
Yeah.
You know,
it tempers the violence, like you said. Like blood, laugh white sort of makes it more playful. If it were just red, it would feel a lot more of a violent situation.
And white teeth when you laugh.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And you see the colors with your eyes.
Red.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Going back to
red. So
eyes.
the red could also be lipstick.
Lip,
Oh, sure.
kiss, and laugh.
How about
It's that cinematic thing.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
scanning the scene, and now we're on her mouth, right?
Yeah. Red lipstick.
how about getting
Oh wait.
Like laugh white teeth.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to read that line again for us, Darlene?
Suppose a collapse and rubbed purr get.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
I don't
I
know.
really
Collapse
should have
is-
read this more
Yeah,
before I
I was
pressed.
gonna say, I don't know
No,
if
it's
this is
good.
suitable for all audiences.
This is good. This is fine.
We've got
We're all
suppose
friends
again.
here.
We've got suppose. So we're back to that.
Yeah, we're supposing
So-
it.
In repetition, collapse. So now we're falling. Falling. I don't know if that is the same as closing. I don't think so. But shutting up, falling, these are all sort of similar connotations, but not really the same.
I love get is the last word.
In rubbed purr get.
Well, I think we got to do rubbed purr.
Yeah.
So let's do rubbed purr.
So it
Or
feels
do
like
we
some
need
kind.
to?
No,
Al
it's-
is gonna kill me.
Where's Karen?
I'm
It's
never
Karen.
going to be invited back to Modpo
I don't.
again.
I
No,
don't.
there's no
It's great.
censorship in
Okay, so
Modpo.
yeah.
So rubbed purr is like feels like some kind of fabric, right? Like rubbed
Sure.
Except for
cotton
pur,
or-
what's cool about that is
But
purr is a sound. So you
right.
almost want to read it like rub fur or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Rubbed fur.
Or
It kind of
rubber.
plays with
Yeah.
it. And again, I like it because I got on. Once you get on like a vision in Stein, I find it hard to get off of. So like I'm seeing like rubbing a cheek, right? And I'm seeing a woman, and I'm seeing a soldier, and so I see that, you know, like a rubbed purr is like rubbing a cheek.
I think
Seeing
we can
the
edit
rubbing
this
a
for-
little lower down.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can edit this for James's PG-13
Yes.
version because
Yes.
I'm reading it totally different.
I think those are not exclusive, mutually exclusive readings. I
Sure,
think
okay.
that's
Sure.
intended. I really do.
Which is really interesting because I think we're the eyes here, and we have access to this scene, and we're sort of seeing something that we maybe shouldn't be seeing.
Right. We're kind of looking.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, because the voice of this poem is not it's engaging with us as a reader,
Right.
but it's also painting a portrait, and it's not taking part in that portrait. It's just showing us what's happening, and what's happening is real.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an illicit scene behind
sure.
the gate that
Yeah.
we're
behind the
dropping
gate.
in
We're
on.
behind the gate.
I don't think Stein is perfectly innocent when she writes rubbed purr. I don't think she's not naive, right? She knows
No.
that's gonna.
But how
gonna-
good is that combination of letters?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
it's
on
amazing.
the sound
Yeah.
of it, rubbed purr.
From the
In
yeah.
rubbed
Rubbed purr
Yeah, the
get.
double B's and the double R's and all the U's.
That's a great
purr.
sort of term, right? And there's a lot of double, like suppose, a collapse, and
Yeah,
rubbed
yeah.
purr, rubbed purr. There's a lot of double consonant sounds through that whole thing.
So what's the collapse?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
Lee, what do you think?
Well,
Stops.
well,
Still reading it
yeah.
as sexual.
It's after
Yeah.
after laughing in white, right? So
Yeah.
The collapse, yeah.
Yeah, sort of a collapse and purring. Yeah. I feel
A
like
giving
I need a
in.
cigarette.
Yes.
Right, right.
Yes. I still want to
It's a
know.
pretty amazing line.
It's
It's a
fantastic.
fantastic line. I want to know what you do with get though at the end.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah,
It's kind of
that's-
interesting.
Yeah.
It would be almost too perfect without the oddness of the verb at the end that doesn't seem to fit.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think of getting it.
Yeah,
Right.
I think
Yeah.
so too. It's like it's reminding us that we have a vision of it, but there's also an action. Right?
It's almost like a score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Red, go!
Yes.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Right. It's true.
We got it
Little
around to
did
the
we
sports
know.
metaphor.
Secret code.
Oh.
But it's also weird because again, it's the voice of this poem is sort of cheering on this scene. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's not watching innocently, and it's not sort of peeking through the gate. It's there behind the gate with these actors.
Yeah.
And a little bit lascivious too, like drooling over the tall, handsome soldier.
And now, I mean, looking back at the title, Supposing Eyes, now I'm just imagining a pair of eyes like peering around
peeper,
the gate
right?
into this.
Yeah.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally.
Like, imagine we're looking at these two people.
Yeah, in this little garden party, like, with these iron chairs.
Like the blackbird.
At the hour of closing summer has a new meaning now.
Right.
Right.
Well, it's like the end of innocence.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
The fall.
Mm-hmm. The fall.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too perfect. I can't. It's too perfect. Can we reread that line, UN? Will you reread
Did
that?
I read it right?
Yeah.
Little sales
Yeah.
ladies, yes.
Must.
Little ladies, little sales ladies, little sales ladies, little saddles, motifs.
Saddles.
It's a tongue twister.
It is definitely a tongue
Where
twister.
sales ladies coming?
She loves those double consonants.
I'm thinking maybe
Sales lady.
this woman in the white dress is maybe a sales, like a sales girl, a working class girl.
But it's
Or
interesting,
she could be selling it, whether literally or figuratively.
Oh my.
Could be figurative. Doesn't have to be like her business.
I was thinking much more proper, like we were saying earlier, the end of innocence or whatever. So she, like little sales lady, it's like, again, it's infantilizing. It's like you're talking about a child.
Yeah.
But here, there's something much more adult going on, and I think it turns to that with the mutton at the end, which is, it's meat, it's flesh, it's animal.
Right.
I'm also thinking about like caterers or, like a Tupperware party, like little ladies going about the garden, presenting something, offering something to sell.
Which is also cool
trays
because
of
then it's like
mutton.
the eyes are scanning away from the romance, and it's like we're still at the party and there's still other things going on.
It does seem like a little bit of a turn, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
It definitely does.
An expression, lamb dressed up as mutton,
Well,
or I mean mutton dressed up as
mutton
lamb.
is old
Wait,
lamb.
old-
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that's
Old
when
sheep.
an older
Yeah.
woman tries
Right.
to dress
Yeah.
up like a young chick.
Like you're not gonna be a little sales lady for the rest of your life. Someday you're gonna be mutton.
Is there more than one of them?
Yeah.
Ladies, and
Yeah,
it's
ladies.
repeated twice.
Yeah.
Or it's like a universal address almost.
Yeah.
Or she's moving from the particular to the general, right?
Right.
Because this is if this story is, as we've been reading it, a story about sex, about a man and woman, then this is, we're seeing one story, but it's a very common story, right? So she's moving from
Where are the eyes now? The supposing eyes. What happened to them?
I think we've shifted from the lovers to the sales ladies and other things going on at the party.
Is sales ladies always two words?
No, sales lady is usually one word if you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering.
sales
Little
lady.
sales ladies.
Yeah.
Little
Right.
sales ladies.
Right.
Well, there's
Yeah.
two little. I see playing with. She's playing with the words, right?
Right.
So you can be like you're a sales lady, and also these are all little. You're selling yourself bit by bit, right?
Little sales.
You're selling bit,
Yeah.
by, like it's a little sale. You think it's a little sale, and then after a lifetime of that,
Is she judging? Is
I
she
think
being
there's something
judgy?
judgmental in
I
in
agree
this
with what
poem.
you said about the little.
Yeah.
It seems to be diminishing these
Yeah.
Yeah.
people she's
And the
referring
soldier, a real
to.
soldier. I think she's sort of looking down on the scene.
Oh, that's interesting.
But playfully. I mean, I don't think the judgment is the center, and I think the ending brings us like this is all sort of silly, but it's also beautiful.
so a saddle is a butchery term for meat, the animal's back and hips.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, which
I mean, that's pretty
right?
direct.
Yeah, it's like she's not mincing words.
Right. But it's also, I mean, it just works so well with the sound of it. Sales lady saddles is like.
Also, too, suppose an eyes. It may not be her. Because I just suppose somebody watching, and this is what this somebody is interpreting of the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might not be her.
Right.
Well, it gets
This
to
is
be
how-
our eyes as we read the poem.
Yeah, but it could also be, somebody else who is making some sort of a condemnation.
Yeah, like the soldier or other men who are there, maybe seeing them as the sales ladies as pieces of meat.
Lee, do you want to read the last line again?
Little sails of leather and such beautiful, 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 beautiful.
So we have mutton and then we have leather, which is ow. right?
Skin.
It's a different
Skin.
form of
It's any
flesh.
any skin.
Yeah, it could be any tan.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Saddles are made of leather,
Saddles are made of leather.
Yeah.
It's true.
and she's using beautiful to modify beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful.
It's a beautiful, beautiful. Not only is it beautiful, it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Right.
Well, it still sounds a little diminutive. It sounds a little almost, like a chorus of, oh, such beautiful, beautiful this, and beautiful that, and I don't know, it's like
Like a group of women in a store.
old biddies,
Yes.
completely. Yes.
Or it's just
Yes.
the small talk I've overheard at this
Or
party.
young
that comes-
biddies. Anytime.
I still had them work.
It sounds frivolous, right? Like you're in a sale and everything's so beautiful, everything's so wonderful, right?
Right.
It sounds like a frivolity.
Yeah, it
But
does.
but there's a soldier, and there's the backdrop. It feels of war, right?
And there's the reality of all this, mutton and leather and flesh and
Yeah.
skin and red.
Wow.
Stein is the friend of Picasso. So if we have people write down every image here, put together, probably we'll understand more because you say an eye, suppose just one eye. But Picasso will write the draw
Right.
3 eyes, not 1 eye.
Well, no, he did a
Yeah.
lot
Two
of
eyes.
he did a lot of
Good
two eyes on
point.
the same side of the
if
head.
we put the probably just put all the image
Right.
on the paper because we enjoy it more.
You know what I like
That's
about
a good point.
Picasso makes a lot of sense.
I really like that too because also we just we moved on from it's not one eye, it's a pair of eyes, but maybe it's many pairs of eyes, right? Eyes is plural, it can be.
So you put
Yes.
the little
Suppose
sales
and
ladies,
Yeah.
then little saddles mutton next to each other. Probably we see more sense for that.
Like an ox. Still life.
Yeah.
Succeed
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Picasso was known. A lot of his paintings, he takes two eyes, he puts them on the same side of the head. It's like a singular object.
And because besides just like when we see things like even the old traditional picture is supposed to be like 3-dimensional perspective. Picasso is only 2-dimensional, flat. So I don't know, maybe just say you can put the together, get more sense.
That sounds plausible.
Yeah, I think if Picasso were to illustrate this poem,
Yeah.
it would really all come together for us. I think you're so right. Which is why I think Completed Portrait of Picasso works so well, because she's using the same method that he uses and fragmenting everything and kind of repeating it, but in a slightly different way, and like creating these odd juxtapositions to try to create that fuller portrait.
And the way that the later lines are always speaking back to the earlier lines, because we see a painting, it's all happening at the same time, but we have to read left, right, top, down. It's linear. But the way that she writes, it forces us to sort of keep looking at it as a whole as we read, instead of just moving forward. It's not just a progressive movement; it's sort of an all-at-once.
It's sort of blocking our impulse to find it.
Yes. Yeah.
Repeating beautiful.
There's also just the beauty of the uncertainty. Because what the Picasso says is that the war doesn't make sense. So why we paint the picture that do means that these pictures doesn't make sense.
Right. Why impose
So
coherence
what
on
is
it?
beautiful is beautiful nonsense.
Right. Yeah, what is beauty in that context?
Right.
I am interested that Molly suggested that there's something sort of like critiquing and beautiful, and I wondered if y'all read it that way. I tend to read it as just exuberant for some reason.
I kind of read it that way too. It's like it's like it ends on a very positive, happy, joyous note with all those beautifuls there.
I see I'm a little cynical. I see a little cynicism behind
I
that.
can see that,
Yeah.
but that's not what I felt
Right.
when I read it.
She also changes her form really dramatically in those last 3 lines. She goes very rhythmic and a lot of repetition. It isn't present before, right? Little sails, little sails, little sails, little saddles, little sails. Such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, she changes very dramatically the way that she's depicting or using the words, which I think is interesting.
It's almost like a nursery rhyme at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, the final 2 lines,
I'm gonna say
If you didn't have those words.
Right.
more beautiful here.
Yeah.
Is tone going up or still level or going down?
We don't have those
Fading
cues.
out.
Right, we don't have those cues we don't have those cues in English. It's hard to know the tonal, right? Because we only have the word.
Well,
word.
what are some different ways that we could
Yeah,
read that
right.
tone?
Yeah.
Like how would you?
Well, if you put an exclamation point at the end, it would take you one
Beautiful,
way. If you put
beautiful.
ellipses at the end, you could take it another way. If you just left no period there,
Yeah, but I think
take
the
it another way,
period
but
kind of
with the
like brings
period.
it down and closes it off, right? Beautiful, beautiful.
Right.
and
It's
Except for the comma, which disorients.
Right. Well, it's such beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful seems like a thing, right? And then it's beautiful, beautiful. It's such beautiful.
I do like the idea of beautiful modifying beautiful.
Yeah.
Like beautiful itself is the thing, and then it's become even more beautiful. I think the reason I get that kind of critical tone is the little.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little and the ladies.
Yeah,
That's
little-
such
yeah.
feels like a put down.
Yeah, a little condescension.
Uh-huh.
A little condescension.
I just wonder when it was published. It said 1914. It was the beginning or the end of 14.
Yeah, what's it?
Because the war started at the end of August.
Right.
yeah, you wonder what's the historical connection.
Was it before? But the tensions were brewing between.
By the time the summer closed, it was over.
Yeah.
Summer closed in September 22nd. War was over. 3 weeks already going.
So, but you know,
Can we kind of read those last two lines too as like somebody like rubbing their hands together, little sails, ladies, little sails, ladies, little
Yeah.
sails of leather, and
Beautiful,
beautiful,
beautiful.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. You know,
makes it a little more
you know,
manipulative.
somebody who's
Yeah.
you know controlling what's happening here inside
Interesting.
within the gate.
Like a little puppet master.
And then the whole
But that's
thing
what
becomes a
eyes
pitch.
do, right? We control our environment. We're constantly interpreting our environment in sort of an aggressive way. That's how eyes.
But then the whole thing becomes a pitch, right? Like
Right,
suppose
exactly.
that eyes, like,
Right,
let's-
right.
Hey, you know, like,
Suppose a
yeah.
soldier
I'm
of
selling you this.
yeah. Suppose he
Over here, a soldier
Yeah,
in their
yeah,
dress,
yeah.
which gives the poem a real different feel.
Any final
words?
thoughts on this?
Need Emily.
I was going to say,
Yeah, wrap it up. Yes.
can she write my final words? And I'll just try to-
I just love the fragmented nature of the view of whatever's happening here, and it's so rich for the reader.
You said view. I think what's going on here is looking. Again, but coming back to eyes, I think it's important. The act of looking. Even less important than the scene.
what you
I mean,
can
more
s-
important.
what you can see if you take a look.
Yeah.
You know, you might be surprised
Yeah.
going on.
I think it resists any one particular reading. It's open for a multitude of various different.
I also liked the idea we were talking earlier about the gate and access being brought into this scene. Being able to look at something we might not otherwise be able to look at.
The example here is suppose actually happen. The seeds are needing blackening of the white the red and black and white really makes it really made me thinking something else. I don't know.
Yeah, the series of contrasts.
Yeah,
It does seem much more visual than a lot of her work. To me, it is more narrative. It is more descriptive and less. I do think you're right. It's about the act of looking, but it seems to be less about like language itself or the making of meaning.
Or it's about the act of supposing, right? Like to get all the stuff we did, we had to suppose, right? We couldn't just. We had to bring that.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah, that's good.
I love that.
That's what lets us in the gate.
Yeah. Bob, Sam, you guys have any?
I'm circling around this. I'm trying to figure it has something to do with 1914, but I can't quite figure this out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with the war, but I'm
Yeah, well, the soldier.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely bringing the war in.
One more thing is just say we do something supposed to do. It's going to be beautiful or not.
Oh yeah, we didn't bring up supposed
Like,
in
you're
the sense
supposed
of
to,
obligation.
right, yeah.
We didn't, but there's also that word needing.
It is.
Supposed to. Yeah.
Suppose that at the end is beautiful, because you done something not supposed to do.
Right.
Or because
Oh, that's
you are
good.
supposed to do, like reproduction, right? The sexual things is happening here, and that idea of
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
pairing
really
up.
good. Yeah, because they are doing something